Hello champions, how are you folks doing? It's been quite some time that I've posted a video on YouTube and I am sorry for it. In fact, let me tell you, I was occupied in creating something really nice for all of you fine guys. Our website is about to launch and the website is going to have case studies, ebooks, articles, Q&A. You can ask me questions and I will answer that. And best of all, we are going to offer one-time free consultation sessions to all of you champions so that you can leap towards your success far faster than you can imagine. Coming to the point today, I recently was invited to Orissa and I addressed a crowd of about 100 entrepreneurs. And when I was discussing with them, how the business is and what is happening, I encountered a common theme. The common theme was competition is too high, markets are very slow. And we all get bombarded with markets being slow, recession, etc. by all of these wonderful, very noisy news channels, right? And whatever we hear, we believe. So I thought it's extremely important for me to share with all of you fine guys who've been connected with me my views on what I see the current situation as and what is coming next and what should you do in order to sail through and in fact propel. So here's the deal. The current economic slowdown is happening. I accept it's happening and you cannot deny that. Yes, the money is not moving. Yes, there are people who are getting laid off. Yes, there are industries which are struggling. I accept that. But you know what? I don't see this as a problem. I see this as a very big correction. And this correction happens, I believe, to all the countries which suddenly start developing. For a long time, we had a very steady inflation. When I say inflation, the prices didn't really rise much. Now, there are several economic reforms that the government got for us. Now, don't take me wrong. I'm not a pro-Modi or an anti-Modi. So, I'm not going to go that route. I'm just simply using logics to say what I have to say. Demonetization. It did give a hit to everybody who was wanting to do business in cash. Is cash economy still there? I would say yes, it's there. But people fear doing that. Which means now we have a sizable amount of formal economy, which means we know where the money is, we know where the money is going, which is a very good news, and I'll tell you why. The second reform that was bought was GST. We had VAT, we had service tax, and there's a lot of confusion. I had a client who was in softwares. He was always confused on whether it is software as service and therefore service tax or it is software as a product and therefore VAT. He never got an answer because both of these departments were independent. I'm sure a lot of you face these problems. This entire GST thing resolved a lot of issues when it comes to interstate transportation. Of course, there were problems that happened. But let me tell you, my friend, when you change something in your business, don't you have problems? This is a government, this is a country that changes every 100 kilometers, maybe less than that. Would you not have problems when you introduce such large reforms? Of course you would. I think the government did a decent job of responding to this. Now coming to the economic slowdown and what I see. Well, the current situation is that the dollar versus rupee, there's a very big difference. Now, without getting into technicalities, RBI can actually correct this, can manipulate it, but they are not doing it. What's the result? The result is that imports are going to become difficult because you buy at a higher rate and exports are going to become cheaper. Let me remind you, there is a trade war between China and US. What does that really mean? Every product that is manufactured in China, by the way, by a lot of American companies themselves, is going to become expensive. Why? Because the US is actually implementing heavy duties on those products. That's called trade war. What do you think the countries will do? What do you think we did when our manufacturers struggled to keep up with the price that China was offering? We stopped manufacturing, we started buying from China. What do you think will happen now? all those companies which are in China, they want to do business elsewhere, they are all going to come to India. Now, what does a company really consider while coming to India? The company wants very good tax regime. With GST, all of that confusion is out of the window. So it's a thumbs up. They need very good online and offline infrastructure. Let me tell you this. I am sitting in Mumbai. From Mumbai to Delhi, there is an economic corridor that's planned. From Mumbai to, I guess, Kolkata, there is another economic corridor that's planned. And from Mumbai to down south, there is another economic corridor that is planned. All of these economic corridors are going to have very fast transportation systems. All of these economic corridors are going to have SEZ, special economic zones, that have incentives. Because of the dollar value and the rupee value, the conversion rate, it's going to become profitable for companies to set up in India and export outside, instead of sitting in China, manufacturing there and export outside. All of these companies, when it comes to physical infrastructure, I spoke about the corridors. When it comes to digital infrastructure, so that they can talk to their parent very easily, so that they can use the technologies that they are very used to, India is going to have the fastest broadband the world has ever seen. Reliance is bringing that on. So online infrastructure is good, offline infrastructure is good, the tax regime is fairly simple. We have a labor force that's available at a very cheap rate. That is brilliant. Exporting becomes easy because of the conversion rate. We have all the good things that one can think of to do business in India. Now coming to you. Okay, I forgot to mention the tax rates. We slice the tax rate from 30 to 22%, and for new companies incorporating, it's 15%. So that is also a benefit to anybody setting up in India. Now what is going to happen? There are going to be huge number of foreign companies who are going to come to India and set up here. Now two ways of looking at it. Number one, if your industry is hit because a foreign company comes and sets up here, and they are far more intelligent, far more process driven, which means they are far more accurate and they come with speed, you may have a problem if you are not systematic. Are you ready for it? Are you still doing the things that should ideally be done by your people because there is a process? If that's the case, you may struggle. A lot of companies, small enterprises who sat and who thought it's okay, let me not do anything. You know, the like we say in Hindi, chal raha hai na. If that's the attitude that people have carried, they are going to have very, very tough time moving forward, because a lot of people are going to come into every single industry. Now what happens to people who are systematic? They get opportunities, because whenever a large company sets up, the large company requires very good people around. People, when I say, I mean companies, smaller companies supporting them. If you are good, if you are systematic, you are going to be the selected one, which means a lot of business coming your way. Let me tell you guys, you know, when I interact with entrepreneurs, small and medium sized entrepreneurs, in fact, let me give you an example. There was a retailer that I was interacting with, and he mentioned, I used to do the purchase of all my products myself. When I started giving it to my store manager to purchase in every season, he wouldn't identify trends. He would end up purchasing a lot more on things that he should not purchase and a lot less on things that he must purchase. Now we designed a system. He's my client. We designed a system for him, and his people can now use the system, not use the brains, but use the system. The system identifies trends and makes them purchase the right thing. Imagine this system was not there. This process was not there. This entrepreneur would have continued to do operational tasks. And what does that really mean? He is taken away from understanding what's happening around the world and where the world is moving, where our country is moving. If he does not understand that and he does not pay attention to what's happening around the world, he has the possibility of missing the bus. As entrepreneurs, we must see what is happening around. We must understand how equations are going to change for business. It's like identifying the disease in the first stage. If you identify cancer in the first stage, you have a high chance of recovering yourself out of that. But if you're too late, if you still are in the denial mode that no, it's okay, the way my business is running, no, I don't need systems, no, I don't need to invest in people, my industry is such, and you become analytic, you just simply ask questions and don't really take actions. If that's how you're going to operate, you will have to take a decision, but it will be too late, and the chances are that your enterprise may not exist. This video I wanted to do specifically to tell you in this scenario what actions you must take. While the business is slow, while the operations is anyways low, it's not very demanding. Go out there, talk to your customers, understand from them what do they want. If you don't understand this today, you will face a challenge. If you don't understand what is missing or what is the wishfulness your customers have, you may not be able to sell them as much as you sell them today. There are ample number of industries where the parent company, the corporates, are planting in distributors, are planting in retailers and increasing the competition. You know why? Because they know you people as small business owners are not going to expand. So he's finding more small business owners because he wants to expand. Don't get into that save mode, get into that grow mode. If you think of growth, you will get ideas that will scale you up. If you think of how do I protect, you are not going to end up protecting anything at all. So action point for all of you fine champions: go to your customers, ask them what is it that they need, how do they see the scenarios changing, and adjust your car accordingly. If it means going online, go online. The traditional way of working will change. If you have questions on this, if you want to know how is this current thing going to impact your business, there is a comment box. If you're watching this on Facebook, there is a comment box. If you're watching this on YouTube, there is a comment box. Make use of that. Place in comments, ask your questions. I will be more than happy to answer them. There are a lot of people who come, I don't know where they get my number from, but they message me on WhatsApp and I do respond to as many as I can. Please put your questions. I'll be more than happy to respond. All that I want is all of you champions to not be a part of that community that says it's okay, let us continue to do what we are doing, because the world is changing. You do not want to be left behind. You are my champions and you continue with your growth journey. So if you like this video, of course, do hit the thumbs up. Comments you have to make. Ask me as many questions as you want on how this entire thing relates to your business. Don't be left out. Let's grow together. And if you have any entrepreneur who you know and is not looking at this YouTube video, this video is extremely important. Do good to get good. Share this video with your friends and enlighten them. Get them to ask me questions. It's free. There is no charge to this, but don't keep me free. Engage me, make me busy, ask me questions. Until we meet next time, keep learning, keep implementing, and don't forget, keep propelling.